Hey guys, wanted to shoot this quick video to give you some direction in terms of the things you may be wanting to think about right now, and the things you need to be doing. So I want to kind of go over real quick, and I've got here in an email as well, a little outline for you. The first thing I want you to understand is, and I've got it here, so I want to look at it, as we're going along, is the number one rule: be self-sufficient. You've got to be self-sufficient when you're running this business. Any business, whether it be M&A, whether it be real estate, any things I've ever talked about, if you don't have the wherewithal to be self-sufficient, forget about it. It's not going to work. All right. If you constantly need help, if you constantly need someone to hold your hand, this is not for you. Okay. Entrepreneurship is not for you, to be quite honest. Okay. So the second thing is you've got to be a self-starter. You've got to be a self-starter. You take the manual that we have. The first thing you want to do is you want to review what you've got in your hand, so you understand what an M&A deal finder actually is. You're not a broker, you're a finder. It's easier to be a finder. Okay, so your job is to find and qualify business owners that want to sell their business, and we'll get into that a little deeper, I guess, as we go through. But we really don't have to. If you look at the book, there's a section there on valuation as well. So do yourself a favor and glance through the book and do what Ed Virgil and Catherine both did. I didn't hear anything from Ed Virgil at all until he made $80,000. Now we're on the sell side of the transaction, so I'm going to talk about that in just a minute. But anyway, that's the first thing. You have to be self-sufficient, and you got to be a starter. First thing you want to do is you want to create a company name. All right. You need to create a company name. If you already have a company name, you can use that. If you already have from a tax purposes, and you've already got a corporation or an LLC that you want to utilize, that's fine. The point is you want to have a company name. The second thing is you want to make sure that you have yourself seen. And what I suggest you do is you go open up a profile, if you don't already have one, with LinkedIn. And the reason I purposely use LinkedIn, I mean, you can use Facebook if you choose to, but I use LinkedIn because, number one, a lot of the people that I'm focusing on are on LinkedIn, and they're on Facebook as well. I'm just not probably as well known on Facebook. I do all my work on LinkedIn. And the reason I do that is because early on, I started my LinkedIn in 2009. I've got about 13,000 contacts. I'm in about 62, 63 groups. Those groups allow me to be able to do brokerage and private equity. So I did that early on. So I'm kind of, really focused on LinkedIn. The other thing you want to know about LinkedIn is it gives you a digital business card. That's the most important thing. You need to have a presence. Being on LinkedIn is really basically a website. It's like a one-page website, okay? And you can put other things about what you do and things of that nature. So you want to make sure that you have a company name and you build a brand. And the best way to do that, I think in the beginning at least, is be on LinkedIn. The next thing you want to do is you want to start creating campaigns, and you need to have a database. I recommend Webify because Webify is a cold call outreach system. Cold email outreach system, and you need one. I happen to have GetResponse, and because I have GetResponse, I've had it for a long time, and so I primarily use GetResponse. But there's reasons for that. But you probably don't have GetResponse, or you don't have a lot of folks in GetResponse, so Webify is a good way to go. The other reason I suggest Webify is because the criteria that we're utilizing, you can find most of those criteria in Webify. And that's primarily how I use Webify. I use Webify as a lead generation tool because it allows me to quickly go after a particular market. So if I want to go after HVAC in Pensacola, Florida, all I have to do is put in the state, put in the type of business I'm after, put the city I'm after, and out pops an Excel spreadsheet, with those names that you can download or whatever you want to do with it. Then what I do is I tend to sort those leads. And so I looked at them, for example, if I looked at Pensacola for HVAC, I may see, 80, 90 HVAC companies. I don't know how many there, but just let's say that's the case. I'll quickly go through and look at all of the emails and eliminate the info, office at, contact at, things of that nature where I can't see this actually being delivered to someone. And I keep the ones that are delivered where it looks like it's a real email going to an actual person. Then or what you can do is you can take the name of those companies and just cross-reference those against, say, a database such as LinkedIn. And that's why I sent the prospector tool. That would make no one really picked it up, but that's the reason I sent that, because it makes it easier for you to be able to cross-reference and find out who the owner really is, maybe their cell number, maybe their email address. Okay, so I sorted. I try to clean it a little bit, because I don't want to put junk in, because you get junk out. I want to make sure that at the very least those emails are being delivered somewhere. Now, if you don't want to take the time to do that, I would suggest you just get rid of the contact, hello at, contact, office at, whatever it is, and lean toward emails that look like they're real. Okay, that's probably because I don't know if you want to take the time to do it, but I do that because it's important to me to make sure the first time I'm putting it in my database that I have a good shot of it being delivered. Now, the next thing you want to do is you want to create some profiles in Webify or any database or Google. But we're going to talk about Webify and assume you have it. If you don't, I would strongly suggest you get it. So you're going to get the emails after you sort it. You're going to sort out the business owners' emails, and then you can put together an email. If you look in the book, if you look at some of the emails I've sent, I've got the search criteria. I sent it for many, 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 many weeks. And so you could extract that search criteria and put that in your email. Basically, this is what we're looking for. This is who I am, that type of thing. All right. Not hard to do. All right. The next thing you want to do is you want to create an opening line for yourself. My name is Gregory Evans, blah, 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 blah. This is what I do, and so that you can, think about it at being at a party, introduce yourself. You can do that in an email. When you first introduce yourself, who are you? What do you do? All right, be very purposeful in that, because if you contact business owners like I do, that same opening line is what you're going to utilize the content. Hey, this is Gregory Evans. I noticed you'd open up my email about selling your business, blah, blah, blah. All right, here's what I do. You can go in that way. All right. The next thing you want to do is review the seller profile and executive summary. Within that bundle, you've got the seller profile and you've got the executive summary. Now, the last listing that I went after hasn't been, I submitted, it hasn't been they haven't done anything with it yet because they just got it. Well, that came from the form that I have in that bundle. All right. And so basically I fill that information out, ask some questions, which is why I do it by phone, which you don't have to. You can do it another way. You can use a landing page with drop downs. If you can create that, then do that. That's even an easier way to do it. But at some point, I like to talk to the business owner. You may not do that. Now, doesn't mean that email does not work. What it means is that the longer it takes for you to really personally get involved, the longer the process is going to take before you even get to the point where you'll even have a chance of us getting a listing. This is not difficult, especially if you just do this quickly. All right. The next thing you want to do is you want to, again, go back and review the search criteria. I've sent that in emails over and over and over again so that you understand what we're looking for. We're looking for companies doing revenues of between $1 million to about 10 million plus, and cash flow minimum of at least $250,000, been in business at least 3 years. I think have at least 3 employees. So you want to make sure you look at that. And that last part is not as important. That is the cash flow and the gross revenue. All right. Because the other thing you got to remember, you're going to be sending that lead to me because someone needs to contact that business owner to verify that the information is correct. One of the big hesitations in doing this was sending leads to the firms and they not getting good leads, where the leads are not actually qualified. You just took a little bit of time. You didn't do much. You just ran through it real quick. And now we are following up on people who really don't even know who the heck we are. They don't remember the phone call. They're certainly not going to give you the information, that kind of thing. That's what we want to avoid. All right. So just be sure. And that's up to you how you do that. It's going to come to me anyway before it gets sent over. And so I just want to make sure that you understand, what's going on here. Now, finally, go back, look at the emails in the manual, look at the entire manual, understand the difference between sell side and buy side. Sell side is what we are doing. We are working trying to find sellers through a brokerage firm. So we work on the sell side with a brokerage firm. Okay. And so the buy side would be different. The buy side, which most of that book is actually dedicated to, is what Ed Virgil did, Catherine did. And so what happened is the private equity, as an example, the private equity firm paid the fee. Okay. They're the ones that pay you. So, so go into the book and look at the difference. Also, go in and look at the valuation part so you understand exactly what we're talking about. Because as we go through this process, one of the things that will happen is we offer them the opportunity to have a valuation done so they can get a feel for about how much the business may be worth. Very, very important. And I can tell you from firsthand, because I work for a large firm, most small business owners really do not understand what their business is worth. They don't even know the components of value that make up the valuation of the company. And so that's not something that you necessarily have to go into a lot of detail about, but you certainly want to understand that because you're going to be sending emails, and the better the emails are written, then the greater the chance you'll probably get a better response. Okay. So I just wanted to give you some examples of what you need to be thinking about as you go through this process. Once again, rule number 1, be self-sufficient. Rule number 2, must be a self-starter. Please be a self-starter. All right, this is for you. It has nothing to do with me. I run my own business. You run your own business. Create a company name. Create campaigns by industry and city through Webify. Create emails that you're going to create to the business. You'll see some emails in the book. You make some minor adjustments, and we'll talk about that. But make some minor adjustments. But quite honestly, you should be and send it to me. I'll help you craft it. But I'm not going to do it for you, okay? There's a lot of things I could just tell you, but you have to be self-sufficient. It's not difficult. The book, Ed made $80,000 on a commission. He never called me. So he obviously figured it out. And when we asked him, why was he so successful? How did he get that $8,000? He says, very simple. I just read the book that Greg gave me. That's it, okay? Create a LinkedIn profile. Create an opening line. Review your seller profile and executive summaries in that bundle. Review the search criteria. And of course, obviously review the manual for the buy side versus the sell side so you know what that means, okay? Guys, I look forward to talking to you on Tuesday. I've been having problems with Zoom, so hopefully we'll be able to do that. But even if we don't, this is where you want to get started. This was not designed to be a group. This was designed to be a one-on-one. But even with the one-on-ones, I don't want them to last forever. I prefer to do one-on-ones when you take information like this and you give it back to me as opposed to asking me questions. What should I do here? What should I do there? You now know exactly what you need to do, so just go ahead and do it. You can make a lot of money doing this because we get paid, once a listing is signed, we get paid 10 days after the listing has been signed. And so just remember the way you're getting paid in this deal. All right, you can do very, very well. I've already done 7. I've done 3 deals since I've talked to you guys. In fact, one of them, well, not actually, the third one actually was just submitted, so we haven't gotten a listing yet. But I did 4 others prior to that. I know how to do listings. I am a business broker. So, but the most important part of this, regardless of whether you're a business broker or not, because you don't have to be a business broker to be successful at this, you just have to hustle. And so if you're not willing to do that, you're not going to make any money at this. That's just the God's honest truth. Guys, I appreciate you. Have any questions, just please text me or email me, and I'll try to answer them for you. Otherwise, I'll see you on your Tuesday. Talk to you soon.